Okay, covered garden chimps. Now, we're gonna do some Psy action. Geraldo, Psy? We're gonna do Psy. Now, chimps. First things first, we're gonna place a dart monkey and then a sniper. And then just play around and just kind of go as follows. You'll all see what's going on here. Hopefully this ends up turning out. But just plays a dart monkey at the back of the track, I think. Yep, we'll do a dart monkey to make sure nothing leaks. Gotta make sure of it. You never know. Next round we'll be placing a sub. At least we should. Yep, we get a sub. Put it right here. Just hope not to leak. We shouldn't. I think we'll be doing the save up for Psy. I think that would be the optimal play. There's a chance we place a boomerang though, just in case. I don't think so though. We should be able to get Psy this round. Assuming so, when you place Psy, if possible, try and put them on strong, not first. And do as I place. Place Psy right here. And if you can, try and put strong. If you don't get strong, it's okay. It's still okay. Because as you all probably saw, I did not in fact get strong, which is okay. Now we're going to probably either place an alchemist for the sub or a boomerang. I think we'll be placing an alchemist near the sub next round, or we'll be doing some intel. But I'm gonna probably end up doing intel. Okay, we'll just go with triple. I mean double, because that'll probably be better anyhow. Buy that little red hot rings just in case. You never know. We're gonna turn that into Glaive Lord later on because Glaive Lord's a pretty important tower here. Get that intel. And the next time possible, we're gonna try and place a alchemist with that sub. I know we don't afford that, and we'll put the alchemist in the same box as the sub, and we'll do Scion Strong. Now that we remember, we're gonna target the alchemist on strong because I don't know if the boomerang and maybe Psy will be good enough for leads. So that'll probably help enough. I'm gonna upgrade him to Ricochet. And we probably just end up trying to end up probably going for like an Alk buff because Alk buff will probably end up being pretty good. Because the Alchemist isn't just there for these early leads that I'm not sure if we pop, which we do. Try and get Alk buff as soon as possible, just rush Alk buff. Should be the strategy here, I'm thinking. And if we can rush Alk buff, we'll be all good. And it's looking like we should be able to get it by next round around. This sniper that we have on the bench, that will end up being a main Moab later on in the game. So, in case anyone was wondering how things are going to end. And this round's a little scary, but it's fine because Glaive Ricochet is really good. I really don't know why I placed him so far in the back when we could have put him on the corner next to the Dart Monkey, but it's honestly okay because him being in the back will help clean up ceramics. Now we can get our Alk buff. We won't be able to afford all of Middle Path, I don't think. Did not know if those were going to leak, but I guess they didn't. And it looks like you don't afford it, so next round around I'll probably try and buy that. Not totally sure though, because you never know. Should be able to survive till then. I think we're going to end up placing a village next to the boomerang though. I think. But if we do, we won't be able to afford radar scanner, I don't think, so we'll place it anyhow. We should be fine for this round, but whenever I use the ability, just trying to remember that for your own run, and should work out. That was a bit of a preemptive ability because that one was bad timed. So, but you should be fine throughout this. Not gonna place this factory. It's not needed yet. Perfectly fine. We're gonna buy the middle path, part of Alchemist, and the Airburst because that'll help us get through this part of the game. The leads are okay because we have Psi level 6, I'm pretty sure, is what it was. Camos aren't too big of a threat right now because even though our boomerang may not have camo, we're still okay. We will need our ability for the Moab, but right now we don't need to worry about anything because 39 should be pretty easy. We likely won't be able to get the jungle drums on this anyhow, so yeah, but should work out. I don't know, we might be able to. It's a little tight. We do. Sweet. And then for the Moab, we're just going to time the ability well. As soon as it's in range of the sub, just use the ability, and it'll do its little stun twice, and then the ceramic should get cleaned up pretty easy, because Sai has split mind at this point. We'll buy triple guns. Now we're going to end up probably saving up for more glaives. Yep, we get more glaives, and we're going to probably either next round around, we're going to buy, I think we're going to end up buying the top path, middle path, cross path for sniper, so 420. We're going to try and get the 200 right now, I think is what the idea might be, because that might help just a little tiny bit. Yep, we're going to do this, and then we can't buy Deadly Precision, but that's okay. Use Psy Stun if really desperately needed, but it shouldn't be needed for this round because you have the more glaives in the back. Buy Primary Training. If anyone here does need it, just be sure to slow down the game if you need to place anything that I place, but you shouldn't need to. Just gonna let rounds pass until we figure out what we're gonna buy next, which could either be top path sniper potentially, and try and do the 4-2-0/3-2-0. Probably what'll end up getting done here because that just seems smart. This round is really, really slow. And we buy our 4-2-0. It will help stall the round, so just be aware. Don't be too impatient with the strategy because it does take a little while. And yeah, looks like everything here is doing fine, so we'll be good. That one's going to take a bit. Later on, we'll probably end up placing a Dart Monkey somewhere in that area, just that way Moabs can get killed quicker by the advanced intel. We're not going to buy a Spectre because it's a foolish decision right now. Probably won't end up getting one for the rest of the game. Just be aware if anything gets to the end of the track that it should be fine just due to the fact that the Morglaives is pretty strong, so. And the next round around that the Morglaives is in range, we will probably end up buying primary mentoring, but we might just end up saving straight to Glaive Lord with this strategy, which requires a small amount of micro, but you should honestly be fine if you have any micro skills close to mine, which mine aren't very good, so you all should be fine. Everyone who watches this video, you all should be good. But if you die, I apologize that I made this strategy a little micro heavy then. Moab dies. Sai cleans up the insides completely. I think we end up surviving 63 with this strategy because Morglaives is so strong. 63 might require some micro though, so if you need to do first wave, just do Sai level 3 and you should be okay. Just try and time the abilities as good as possible. It's really it. Once this BFB pops down to Moabs, the main Moab should deal to stun most of the Moabs, which will be okay. Those should all clean it up. Morglaives helps out. Just keep doing what you're doing, and if 63 starts getting close, then yeah, as you guys see, you can see my voiceover skills are terrible, but yep. A small partition of this is actually a voiceover. Sometimes I do voiceovers. Lately I've been trying to work on that, but back to the game. We're gonna hopefully survive 63. Because if I remember correctly, this strategy, you just gotta use Psy level 3 right there, which saves you. And for wave 2, I don't think I used an ability. And then 3, I believe I used Psy level 10. So once you see the third wave come out, just Psy level 10, and the Morglaives cleans up everything else, and you're good. 64 isn't too dangerous. As long as you use your Psy stun to stun the Moabs. Because then you can clean up really easily, because Morglaives is really good against non-Moabs. Just keep letting it coast, and as soon as possible, you're just going to want to buy Glaive Lord. Once you have Glaive Lord, you can pretty much coast for a while, and then you just gotta follow whatever I do. Because whatever I do is very stupid, but it'll do good. After all, this got my border black, so you're all gonna have a fine time. especially you people who are struggling to get the black border. Which I don't think that'll be many of you because it's just an intermediate map, but that's at least what I think. This round takes forever, but that's okay. You can skip ahead like probably another 10 seconds. You won't miss anything, guys. Just saying. Morglaves cleans up, I'm pretty sure, but just Psi level 10 in case of problems. This round's not too hard. And I think 67 were able to get the Glaive Lord based off of what I can remember in my head. So, we'll be fine. And if you can't get Glaive Lord this round, it's okay. You should be able to survive another round around. Yeah, we survive another round around. Because I know I got this border black, so. If anything starts getting sketchy, though, you do have Psi level 3, and I'm pretty open to using it whenever. So just kind of do what I've been doing. Just use it whenever it looks like it could be a problem at the corner with the Dart Monkey. Kind of use that as your gauge of how dangerous it is, and if you feel uncomfortable with it, just use the level 3 ability. And once you start getting late game, you might have to start timing them better, but right now with Glaive Lord on the way, we're fine. Just be aware you might want to be careful of round 100 because round 100 with this strategy is a little sketchy, so it might require some ability timing based off of what I can remember from last night when I actually recorded this. So once you get your Glaive Lord, you have a free like probably 5 or more rounds. You're gonna buy the primary mentoring as well. We're gonna buy where I was just hovering that glue. You're gonna end up wanting to put an embrittlement there, if I remember correctly, and then below that you'll want a relentless glue, assuming my memory helps. Yes, recording explains it as best as possible, so. But you guys can just coast. If you guys have the faster forward mod, just do some faster forwarding, do some 5 times speed if you get bored. If you guys want, you can just hold spacebar on this video, because you'll see when it starts being a problem, and I'll just kind of show you what you gotta do, and if you need to, you can just click back to where you were and you didn't see something. But for now, guys, I'm just gonna observe you guys do the same. As soon as possible, you're gonna put this ice monkey down. So as soon as these BFBs and stuff pop down and it changes rounds, you're just gonna simply put down your little embrittlement. Once you have an embrittlement, that'll help out end the rounds a little quicker, just because. May not have been the smartest use of money, but it ends up helping, so. And then you're gonna buy your free glue globs, and then you're gonna try and afford mob glue, but you end up not being able to, if I remember correctly. You should be able to get it, I think. Maybe. Oh, you get it. Sweet. Never mind. Maybe with faster clicking you get it, but not my clicking. Either way, you're just gonna coast until the next time that you can do that. You're gonna put your Dart Monkey right where I put mine, so that way that can attack sooner, even though it's kind of weak right now. It'll be something else that helps. Just keep waiting for a little while. Once these next couple of rounds fly by, you'll be all good. 78's a little dangerous, so on like the second wave of ceramics, you might want to use your level 3, but that's more so up to you. I think I ended up using it with this strategy, but you have Glaive Lord, it shouldn't be a serious problem. Nothing really is. use 10 for the camo wave because that's the serious wave. And on 79, you can finally buy your Relentless Glue and Glue Splatter. And then from here, it's pretty uphill. There ain't a whole lot of issues from now on. The strategy is kind of dependent on how you place things, though. If you're a better placer than me, you might end up doing better or worse. It just depends. But where I place these things, it works perfectly. Round 80 shouldn't be a serious problem because the main Moab stuns the ZOMG so well. So the ZOMG is just going to slog through the track. You're going to time your ability at some point or another here, probably right here. As soon as it pops to BFBs, you just use your level 3 ability to help slow it down. It's going to be slow with ZOMGs, but that's okay because later on we'll have a cripple mob, which will help a lot. We're going to put our village. Don't place it as far down as I did. Place it slightly upwards. That way you can get your concoction later on in range. I accidentally buy Glaive Ricochet like a dum-dum here because I was not really thinking at the time. It was just an accidental purchase. If you guys do the same, it's okay because I think it ends up helping a good amount by the end. We're going to go for the Moab Press. Here's me explaining because I didn't know if I was going to do a voiceover or not. Once you can afford your Kylie, you're going to do your Kylie. Be sure to do the top cross path for it because it'll be helpful later on for 98 and them rounds. Buy your Moab Press. Once you have your Moab Press, you're pretty set. And from here, you can kind of just coast. You shouldn't have to use your brain very much. And if you do, then it's kind of my fault for not making a better strategy. Apologize for the coughing. But if anything gets to the back of the track and it possibly gets past the Glaive Lord, you might just have to use your Psi level 10, or you're just screwed blatantly. So you're going to try and put your Super Monkey in range of the village. That's why I kind of want it up more. That's kind of my fault with this strategy, but just try and put your village up more so you can place your Super Monkey right where I put mine. It'll be somewhat helpful by the end of this game. Just kind of coast through the rounds until you can actually buy something. DDTs will be your only true threat because I don't think 98 was overly hard because you have size level 10, so. Just keep going and going and going. Things keep going fine here. You shouldn't need any abilities for a little while because Glaive Lord's pretty good, and Glaive Lord usually doesn't let things leak, so. Just gonna save money for now because there's nothing that you need to buy. Don't even consider buying level 14 Psi because Psi will be able to level there on its own. So, yeah. And then once it gets to the Super Monkey, we'll be upgrading it to a 3 2 God, a 032 so you can get yourself a little ICEB monkey because ICEB monkeys are quite good, at least in my opinion. And then you're going to put, instead of last, you're going to do strong and first because strong and first is the superior targeting because it'll pop Moabs down quicker, which is kind of what you need with this strategy because then Glaive Lord can really shine if anything somehow gets past, which is kind of the goal. And then here, if you placed it left-ish as well, your village more left by like a pixel more than me, you'll be able to place your embrittlement that we end up doing a second one of. You'll be able to place it within village range here, which probably better than where I end up placing it. I don't think I placed it in a very good area this for mine that I do here, because sometimes I just don't think. I was just kind of playing. But ZOMGs take a little while. We're gonna get our ice like nice and lined up next to Psy, or if you guys were lucky, you can place it out from the thing where I was trying to do. It just depends where you guys placed it. Either way, you're gonna do this. It's really all dependent on your placement and if you can get it to where I wanted it. Then just buy your 420. And then you should have limited problems. This strategy is pretty decent. And then we're going to buy a 420. More glaives, so that way it's not just sitting at 310. Because it ends up being somewhat helpful. And then sometime here we'll end up buying a little glue strike within our primary mentoring's range. Our back one, because it was more convenient to have next to the glaive lord. 91 shouldn't be a problem for you. If it is, then I guess something was placed incorrectly or you missed one of my steps. Just kind of let things flow for a little while. Kind of try and watch my recording and you can just try and memorize it a little and then do it yourself. If that ain't your style, you can just play it in the background and my voice should help, at least a little, even though I suck at doing this. These DDTs should be uncamoed. Once they're decamoed, you're fairly good, and worst case scenario, you end up just having to use a psi ability. But from here, you're just going to have to wait. Once it's 95, you should be able to buy your glue strike. Once you get your glue strike, you're going to make it a 042. Once it's a 042, you just kind of got to wait, because then you just got to kind of beat these rounds. And then from there, you're going to buy a Cripple Moab next, I think is what it was. Because Cripple Moab is pretty good for like 98, at least with a 420, with a 520 cross pathing. Because 520 is a pretty strong path, maybe a little slept on. Once you get your glue strike, you're all good. And then you just kind of gotta wait the first DDTs to get near the Iseb monkey. Around there is where you're gonna want to glue strike. And then just hope that it doesn't go beyond the Glaive Lord, which it shouldn't because your Relentless Glue should be stunning everything continuously. Now from here, you're going to just kind of chill through 96 because there ain't nothing you can really do besides just Glue Strike once things start getting past the Iseb Monkey. And then once you keep going and going and going, then should be okay. I'm just going to use another level 3 once the BFBs are in the bottom right corner area by the sub. For 97, there's very limited things that you can really do. Just kind of sit through it. I think I end up using a glue strike just because it can speed it up. I don't think it was needed. I don't really think it helped much, except for just make it a little tiny bit faster. But if you're patient, just don't do it in the first place. And then you just kind of gotta wait. Don't buy Tech Terror because didn't do it, and I don't know if it works. So if you guys want to dick around with the strategy, feel free, but I'm not going to change anything about it. Just gonna use our little glue strike once the ZOMGs are in the first corner. And then we're gonna use level 10 once stuff starts making it next to the ISEB monkey. And then from there, we're just gonna glue strike once more once it's off cooldown, and then we're gonna try and buy a Cripple Moab. Assuming you afford Cripple Moab, this round should go really smoothly, because that can insta-kill Moabs. At least I'm pretty sure it can. And now, 99, you're just gonna glue strike once it reaches the corner next to your little dart monkey. The further back one. And then for the bad, you're just gonna kind of watch and then glue strike as soon as it's off cooldown. Once you can, that's pretty much what you can do. And it should pop around the little fountain somewhere in there. Maybe close to the Cripple Moab. Maybe it'll end up being closer to the Glaive Lord. And then if you really want to, you can buy yourself a fighter plane. I don't think it helped that much, but there's a chance it helps. And then you just kind of auto win. And there you go, guys. Congratulations. You get some kind of an instant monkey. For me, it was that druid. We got good win. And now we're going to do a little bit of loading action.